What's up, hello, my name is Emma, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my March book haul. I have some new releases and advanced reader copies of books that are coming out in the next couple of months. I have some fantasy, some contemporary, I even have some nonfiction, so I feel like I have a very well-rounded haul this month, and I think you guys will be really interested to see what I got. The first book that I bought this month is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the Barnes & Noble Collector's Edition, and if I'm correct, it has this gorgeous red cover, and then in the back of the book it has an annotated chapter by Tomi Adeyemi, the author, and it has a poster, so I couldn't resist getting the Barnes & Noble edition. If you don't know, Children of Blood and Bone is a West African-inspired fantasy novel following a girl named Zili who lives in a land called Orisha where magic has disappeared. But throughout the course of the story, Zili has the opportunity to bring magic back to her people and goes off on a scavenger hunt for different magical artifacts with the princess who has run away from the castle, as her brother, the prince, is hot on their tails trying to eradicate magic forever. I read Children of Blood and Bone last month, so I will link my February wrap-up below if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it, but I loved Children of Blood and Bone so much. Absolutely one of my favorite reads of 2018 thus far. It's probably one of my favorite debut fantasy novels that I've ever read. It is just so unbelievably amazing, and if you are a fantasy lover, you definitely need to put Children of Blood and Bone on your radar because it will not disappoint. So the next book I have in my March book haul is an advanced reader copy of Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Furyborn comes out on May 22nd, and this was sent to me by the lovely Books of Wonder, which is a bookstore in New York City, so thank you so much to Books of Wonder for sending it to me. If you are new to my channel, you may not have heard me talk about Books of Wonder before, but they are this absolutely amazing children's and young adult bookstore in New York City that has a very expensive signed book collection, and so every couple of months they have a few releases that they're very excited about, and they offer signed pre-orders where you can order the book through their website and it comes signed by the author. So as a part of a promotion they are currently running, if you use the code FURY10 you will get 10% off your signed pre-order of Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Just to be clear, this video is not sponsored by Books of Wonder. I don't make any commission off of you using my code. We just like to team up together every couple of months to bring you guys some really cool signed pre-order offers at a discounted price, and I think that is so awesome of them. So Furyborn is a start to a new fantasy series that spans centuries. So our main character's name is Riel, and in an attempt to save her best friend's life, she accidentally exposes the fact that she can perform all 7 different types of elemental magic, which is only supposed to be performed by 2 prophesized queens. So in order for Riel to prove that she is the Sun Queen, she has to endure 7 different trials, and if she fails, the people who are of this kingdom will kill her if the trials themselves don't kill her first. And so thousands of years later, we have our main character named Eliana, who is a bounty hunter who believes that she is untouchable and she is just fighting to keep her family alive until her mother disappears without a trace along with other women in their kingdom. So Eliana has to team up with a captain of a crew in order to find out the secrets as to what is going on in the kingdom. So somehow, and I have absolutely no idea how, these 2 stories are supposed to intersect, and I've heard nothing but praise about Furyborn so far, so I am very, very intrigued to give it a try. I'm very happy to say that I have gotten way more into high fantasy over the last handful of months, so Furyborn is definitely right up next on my TBR. I cannot wait to read it, and I hope you guys are excited as well. So if you would like a signed copy of this book, be sure to pre-order it through Books of Wonder and use the code FURY10 for 10% off, and all of that information will be in the description below. The next book in this haul was sent to me by Little Brown Books for young readers, and that is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. Our main character's name is Lee, and she believes that after her mother has died by suicide, her mother has turned into a bird. In the search for her mother, Lee travels to Taiwan to meet her maternal grandparents for the very first time, and it leads to this new relationship with them, as well as some family ghosts and uncovering some secrets, and it is just all about Lee's journey across trying to find her mother in the form of this bird after her death. Being totally honest, at face value, this book does not really sound like my cup of tea. It's just like the combination of magic and reality that I feel coming from this book isn't what I typically like to read, but I have heard like amazing reviews of this book. I hear the writing is just completely absolutely immaculate, and with all the hype surrounding it, it has made me very, very interested to read it. But just the plot seems very individual and unlike anything I've really heard before, and that's really what I'm looking for in YA at the moment, so I definitely think I'm going to be checking out The Astonishing Color of After very soon. So thank you so much to Little Brown for sending me a copy. In the last couple of months, especially since the biannual Bibliothon, if you've seen my reading vlogs from that past week, I have become a Barnes & Noble addict. Not even just buying books. I've been pretty okay with buying books lately, even though there's like quite a few books in here that I bought. But I spend so much time just at the Barnes & Noble cafe, either reading or writing book reviews. Like, I feel like I'm there at least twice a week. But of course, if I'm gonna be a Barnes & Noble, I'm gonna have to explore the bookshelves. And I find myself drawn to particularly the psychology section as of late. You guys know I talk about this all the time, that I recently graduated with my bachelor's in psychology and I'm going on to pursue a master's in clinical mental health counseling. So I've been really wanting to read more nonfiction psychology books lately, and I spend so much time just sitting in front of the psychology books and writing down titles that I want to eventually get in the future and add to that collection, that I finally decided to make some contributions to it. So I went through a mini haul of 3 different nonfiction psychology books, and the first is Confessions of a Sociopath by Emmie Thomas. The cover alone is very striking, and I've heard fascinating things about it over the years that it was just finally time for me to get a copy and try it out. This is essentially a nonfiction book about sociopaths. The author of this novel is a diagnosed sociopath, and it is part memoir, part informational for people who are not sociopaths and would like to learn more about this population. That's all I really know about this book, but nonetheless, I'm really excited to read it, especially knowing that this is part memoir, and the person that is writing this novel not only has their own personal experience, but it deals with up-to-date research as well. Based on her little bio at the bottom, it says she's not a killer, quite the contrary. She's an accomplished attorney and law professor who writes regularly for major law journals, donates 10% of her income to charity, and teaches Sunday school. So I definitely have very high hopes that it will also go into breaking down some of the stigmatizations and stereotypes that come with the title of sociopath. So it seems like a really engaging read, and I'm very, very excited to read it. Next book up on this mini psychology haul is I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, Understanding Borderline Personality Disorder by Gerald Kreisman and Hal Strauss. About the authors, it says that Gerald Kreisman is a clinician and educator who founded one of the first acute care facilities in the world designed specifically for borderline personality disorder, and Hal Strauss is a professional mental and medical health writer and editor for more than 25 years. So these are clearly people that are very involved in the population that they're talking about. Another really promising fact about this book, in my opinion, is that it was originally published in 1989, but it has been revised twice, with the most recent version being updated in 2010. So having updated and accurate information in relation to psychology is really important to me. It just seems like a very informational, well fleshed out book about borderline personality disorder, because unfortunately this is an illness that has not been focused upon a lot in my studies in psychology, and it's a population I feel very passionately about and I really want to learn more about. So I'm very, very hopeful that this book will be a great read for me. And so the final book I got in that little mini psychology haul is 21 Ways to a Happier Depression, a creative guide to getting unstuck from anxiety, setbacks, and stress by Seth Swirsky. The author of this novel does have their doctorate in clinical psychology, but more importantly to me, he has also experienced clinical depression. And the title of this book really sums it up. It's a bunch of different short passages on 21 different things that you can do to incorporate into your lives to potentially help you with anxiety, stress, and depression. I really mentioned this on my channel, but like I've been open about it on Twitter that I've recently been relapsing from my depression and I am taking care of it. But the day that I was in Barnes & Noble, I just felt like I could use some extra support in my life, and also this relapse is partially what prompted me to get more psychology books so that I can continue my education and strengthen my own knowledge about the topics I'm dealing with. And so I saw this book and it was super short and tiny, and I was like, I could literally read this right now. So I sat down at Barnes & Noble and I read the whole thing in one sitting. I don't want to talk about this book too much now because I will be talking about it in my March wrap up, but like I feel like because I'm mentioning it, I just have to leave a few disclaimers here. I would not consider this like a holy grail self-help book. This book is definitely targeted towards people with anxiety and depression that is already manageable, because a huge part of this book requires motivation, which is unfortunately very difficult for a lot of people people that have like very serious mental health issues. So if you are not in the position where you can start making changes in your life and incorporating new habits to help your mental health issues, this book is going to be totally lost on you. Don't waste your time with it. But if you're someone like me that can still function in their day-to-day life and are actively looking for things to incorporate into their lives to sort of help with their symptoms and alleviate some of the stress caused by these illnesses, you might find it helpful. But I just wanted to describe that because I didn't want anyone picking this book up thinking that it was going to like totally cure their depression, because it's not going to. The next book that I purchased in the month of March is one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and I'm actually almost finished with it, and that is Mistress by Audrey Colthurst. This is a prequel to one of my favorite books of 2017, which is Of Fire and Stars, but the stories are totally independent, so you don't have to read one to read the other. Mistress follows a demigod named Azra who has the ability to change the future by writing in her blood. Azra has a girlfriend named Ina who comes to her with the news that bandits are threatening her village, and in an attempt to stop them, Azra writes in her blood to save them, but unfortunately it leaves everyone in Ina's village, including her family and all the people she's grown up with, dead. Unaware of Azra's involvement in her family's death, Ina blames the king for not offering them more help, and so she goes off to take revenge for her family, and Azra has to go off on this journey to find her and stop her. I am currently listening to the audiobook of Mistress, so hopefully I'll be able to talk about it in my March wrap-up, so I don't want to say too much now, but I am really enjoying it, and if you're somebody that likes very exciting high fantasy novels featuring a bisexual main character and demigods and dragons and magic, I think you would really want to pick this one up. And the next book that I bought in the month of March is one that I've actually never heard anyone else talk about, but since I found out about this book, I've been really excited about it, so I had to pick it up, and that is 12 Steps to Normal by Farah Penn. This book follows a girl named Kira who has to leave her entire life behind after her dad is being forced into rehab for his alcohol addiction. Kira's dad is now sober and out of rehab, so she is moving back home to try to piece her life back together after dealing with the effects of her father's alcoholism, and it just sounds like a really emotional story about what it is like to be a child in that position and all of the hardships intrapersonally and interpersonally that come with it. Just the fact that this book exists really means a lot to me because my dad is actually a recovered crack addict, and all throughout my entire life he has been going to Alcoholics Anonymous and has been in rehab and detox and all of that stuff. So it's a topic that's immensely close to my heart. So when I was scrolling on actually Books of Wonder's website and I saw the quote, "When you grow up with an alcoholic, the first step is the toughest," I knew I had to have this book. Because I've just been so excited for this book, I did read the first chapter on Amazon when I ordered it, and it was really good and exactly what I've been looking for in the story, so I cannot wait to dive in. To me, this is the type of book where the subject matter is so specific and such a personal issue that I feel like there's no way that the author would write this story if they were going to mess it up. So I have high hopes for this one, and I cannot wait to read it and share my thoughts on it with you guys. The next book on this list is also from Penguin, so thank you so much to Penguin for the lovely surprise of If You Come Softly by Jacqueline Woodson. What's really funny about this is literally 2 days before I got this book in the mail, I was talking to Monica from She Might Be Monica, and she was saying how much she loved If You Come Softly, and it was like one of her favorite reads when she was younger, and it just showed up on my doorstep as a surprise, so thank you so much, Penguin. If You Come Softly follows a Jewish girl named Ellie and a black boy named Jeremiah as they both attend the same Manhattan prep school, and they just have an immediate connection that is super close and personal, but it's not necessarily something that the world wants to see. To my understanding, this is a short, touching novel about star-crossed lovers in an interracial relationship that has received so much praise that I'm really excited to read. According to Monica, the audiobook of this novel is also really fantastic, and especially because of its size, I've been into short books lately, so I think this is definitely something I would really like to read soon, so thank you again to Penguin for sending me a copy. The next book on this list was another surprise that was actually really touching for me to receive, and that is Life Inside My Mind. 31 authors share their personal struggles, edited by Jessica Burkhart. So thank you so much to Jessica for sending it to me. I received a really kind letter from Jessica about how she really appreciates how I talk about mental health on my channel and how our messages are just so in sync, and I'm really grateful that I received this book. So thank you so much to Jessica for sending it to me. There's a lot of authors in here, but some of the authors that I've read and loved from are Maureen Johnson, Amy Reed, Lauren Oliver, Hannah Moskowitz, Cynthia Hand. A ton of authors, including the editor Jessica Burkhart, have all had their own experiences with mental health issues, from OCD to PTSD to neurodiversity, and it just seems like a really unfiltered, wonderful collection of little memoirs about like an issue that I'm really passionate about, and I'm very excited to read it. I know so many of you guys are equally as passionate about mental health issues, and not only that, but a lot of you guys are aspiring writers as well. So I think the combination of these two topics are going to really mean a lot to so many people. So Life Inside My Mind comes out on this April 10th. I am very excited to read this book, and I hope you are as well. And so the final book on my haul for March of 2018 is yet another one from Penguin Teen. You guys have really spoiled me this month, especially considering this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year again. So thank you so much to the lovely surprise of Royals by Rachel Hawkins. Our main character's name is Daisy, and she is a totally normal girl from Florida, but her sister is engaged to the Crown Prince of Scotland. Due to a media frenzy surrounding Daisy's family, they are forced to move across the pond and live in the castle as she waits for her sister to get married to the prince. A boy named Miles has been appointed to show Daisy the ropes of what it means to be royal, but the Crown Prince's younger brother, named Prince Sebastian, is starting trouble wherever he goes and wants to bring Daisy along for the ride. You guys know me, I love my serious contemporary novels and I love my kick-ass fantasy, but sometimes I just need a book to just gush over that's like very trashy, like fun YA, and I feel like Royals could really be that like 2018 perfect trashy YA novel for me. I'm really excited to read it. I really hope I love it. I read the first two books in Rachel Hawkins' Rebel Belle series, and that's like exactly the vibe I'm kind of going for this book, so I'm definitely anticipating reading it. Royals also comes out May of 2018, so if you were also excited for just some like ridiculous YA novels, you should definitely put this one on your list as well. So that really concludes my March book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am like really happy with all of the books that I got this month, and I cannot wait to continue diving into all of them. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested in any of the books that I've shown in here, if you have read any of them, or what your favorite book that you read or received in the month of March was. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye!